My name is Eric Sun, and I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Anesthesiology and the Department of Health Research and Policy at Stanford University. Yeah, I think the peer review process in anesthesiology is very helpful because there's a large group, it draws from a large network of reviewers who have expertise across a wide variety of areas. And so what I thought was really helpful was the reviewers are people who knew my subject material, they knew the data, they knew the methods, and were able to give a very good evaluation of the paper, and also suggest methodological changes, suggest additional, potential additional sensitivity analyses, so forth, that really ended up making the paper stronger. I think what's also helpful is at the higher editorial levels, there's, I think, a lot of thought into looking at the paper holistically, and I think they were very helpful for our last manuscript, for example, in making sure that the message was sort of on point and that we didn't exceed what the data was saying, and sort of just steering us around sort of political minefields and things like that. So I thought that was very helpful. Well, I think the key is that first of all, there's a brand name. You know, it's a journal that just about every anesthesiologist is going to read, and so it has that scope and outreach to really influence the field as a whole, because so many people read the journal. Again, there's just a lot of expertise in the journal across the editorial board and across the reviewers for really being able to evaluate all aspects of the specialty. Anesthesiology is a very broad specialty. Obviously, you have critical care, you have pain, you have perioperative medicine, you have policies that anesthesiologists are interested in, and so one of the strengths of the journal is just a very strong set of reviewers and editors across all those various areas who can really review, evaluate manuscript, improve it, and in that way make it more relevant to the specialty. The first tip I would give is to really, as much as possible, try to write the paper for a generalist audience, because you may be a pain physician, you may be a critical care medicine physician, you may be a specialist in regional anesthesia, but at the end of the day, it is a journal that is read by the breadth of the field of anesthesia. So as much as possible, to try to write your paper so that sort of the general reader of anesthesiology, if you will, or just a general anesthesiologist would be able to understand the paper. I think that's always very helpful and helps sort of, and it really will help more people be able to understand and accept the message in your paper. And I guess the second tip I would give is that always just to, give it a shot. You can, the worst that can happen is obviously that the papers decline, but to always give it a shot. You really never know, and it's always worth it.